You see, on this channel, I talk about all of the great outcomes that you can have if you maximize college. But sometimes you're not going to make the best decisions, and that's okay. I've made a couple of bad ones, and some still stick with me today. So today, I want to talk about those because I want to make sure that you're aware of these and you could potentially avoid this. Let's get started. So the first regret that I have from college is getting a master's degree. I do have a master's in higher education. It's not necessarily the subject of higher education that I regret, right? But it's the income loss that I experienced getting my master's. You know, right after my bachelor's, I chose to go right into my master's. I didn't spend any time getting some full-time work experience, making some money. You know, I just spent all this time in college. I need to recoup that. I talk about the importance of getting real life work experience in this video right here, right? And there's a couple of reasons for that. Going directly into my master's, it was a safe choice for me because I was familiar with the industry. I worked in it as an undergrad. And, you know, it was right there on my campus. So why not? Go with what you know. But today, as I reflect, I recognize that I lost a lot of time and income by going for my master's directly after my bachelor's. Because although I had amazing experiences working in higher education and I needed the master's for that particular role, I could have had a role that was a step down from what I had, got the experience, got the money, then determined if I wanted to go back for my master's. So if you're considering a master's degree, really think about why you're going for it and when you're going for it. In this day and age, you need to be sure that that level of education is truly needed for the field that you're going into. Because here's the thing, when you pair that loss of income with number two, you have a disaster. Number two being taking out student loans. This is one of the worst decisions I've made in my entire life, quite honestly. And listen, I recognize that everybody does not have cash to pay for their education. And the main issue with student loans is that the interest is working against you, right? Instead of interest going into your 401k, some type of mutual fund, or whatever it may be, it's going to the bank or it's going to the government. So it's money that is compounding and leaving your pocket. And that piece of the message really wasn't explained to me that well as I was going to college. It was more of like, go to college, get a job, and pay them off as fast as possible. But I feel like if I had a deeper understanding of the ramifications of interest, I would have strayed away from student loans as much as possible. So my advice is, if you can work as much as possible and pay for as much of your education as possible, do it. Even if you have to slow down the pace of your education, do it. Avoid student loans as much as possible. I'm telling you, you're going to be paying for it for a long time. And on top of that, if you get a refund, it is not free money. Throw that money right back at the loan. And now number three is really resonating in my life today, which is I switched majors. I started out as a business major and then I switched to communication studies. I mentioned this before. I always had an interest in going into tech. And with going into tech, having some type of business acumen and knowledge would aid me well in my career. But once I got to that business math, I just gave up. And once again, I went with what I knew. Communication studies. So you see, I have no issue with anybody leaning into their strengths, but don't let tough times defeat your purpose, because regardless of how much I avoided business, I ended up in business anyway in my career. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't make curricular decisions out of fear. Even if you switch majors, make sure that you're still involved within that subject area or field. And now regret, it's a very strong word. It's to sell something, to get you to click, all that good stuff. I've already come to terms with all these decisions. Like, I'm okay today, I'm moving on, and I'm moving forward. So the goal wasn't to loathe on what I did or didn't do, but to encourage you to believe in yourself. All of these things that I explained stem from me moving with fear and not with confidence. So make sure that you think critically and make informed decisions. You've got this. But with all that being said, let me know what you think. Let me know if any of these issues are swirling around in your head, and let's talk about it. And more than anything, go for it. There's a high probability that you have not subscribed yet. So if you can, please hit that subscribe button for me, but also like, comment, and share so that I can reach and help more people. And more than anything, start today, start now. See you soon.